Actually, you remember we were talking yesterday about what would you do if you won the Mega Millions kind of thing? What would you do with that money? I thought about it more afterward, and I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? They make a lot of, I mean this positively, camps for people where the most effective ones to help people who are having like an emotional issue, mental slash, it's usually hand in hand, but some sort of issue like that. The best ones are the ones where they have an animal sanctuary and the person will just go there and work with the animals for a bit. You've got some psychologists and things on hand, some medical staff on hand, whatever. But the most effective ones, not always, but for a lot of people, it depends on the person, right? It's really depends on the person. But for a lot of people, the best thing they can do is when they get sent to one of those ranches where they just care for the animals and stuff. And I was like, oh, that would be so nice to make something like that. If I had buku bucks, right? Something where it's an animal sanctuary, but then specifically also has the staff and capacity to take some people into to, work on it. Imagine you have a cat sanctuary and you're like, all right, I need you to feed them every morning. Yeah, it's them being needed. It's them caring for something outside of themselves, because when people are in despair, a lot of the time, they don't mean it this way, but it is a very selfish thing, right? They're only thinking about their own situation and how bad it is, and it's hard for them to put themselves in other people's shoes and look at the world in third person a little. They're very just kind of stuck in themselves. So one of the good ways to help them view the world a little better and more properly, more objectively, is to kind of get them caring for something else. So they're not thinking only about themselves and their bad situation and all of that, right? And yeah, just animal sanctuaries and things. Actually, they do have a good number. I looked it up last night. I was like, how many are there? And there's a good number of them, actually. Not a ton, and usually, I have to travel, but they're out there. So I was like, oh, starting those would be kind of cool, honestly. Animal therapy has been proven effective for so many things. Yeah, I had a friend who, he's doing a lot better now. He was really depressed for a while, and friends were trying to figure out what can we do to help him, what can we encourage him to do, etc., etc. And I said to him one day, I said, look, I could try to give you all this advice and you're not going to want to help yourself, like you want to, but you are not going to do it. So I'm going to tell you to do one thing. I said, get a cat. I don't care. You're sitting at home wallowing all day, just doing nothing, and then staying depressed. Get a cat. Straight up. And he was like, I'll do it if you hand me one. Like, I'm not gonna go out and get one, because he was just in a bad spot and he was just not likely to leave the house, It just straight up wasn't. So I said, all right, I'll get you one. And went to this one foster group and I was like, hey, do we have any that are adults that are not likely to get adopted, who's really sweet, likes to hang out with people? And we grabbed one and I gave him a package of things to start off with, and I said, feed them this much a day, do this, do that. He kind of already knew but hadn't had a pet in a long while, so I just got him a cat. There are other things that he did that helped him get better, but I feel like the cat was so significant for him, so significant, because he had to wake up every morning and get out of bed and feed the cat, right? Because the cat doesn't know what's going on, and you can't just be like, sorry, I'm sad, I'm not gonna feed you. You know that the cat doesn't know that, so that guilt will get you out of bed, right? Things like that. And then having that responsibility towards something that isn't yourself is super helpful. Then you start going out of your way, like, how can I make the cat happy? Can I play with it, right? That kind of stuff really helps. Our ignorant cats howl you when you don't feed them in the morning and they're like, rah, 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 rah. It helps a lot. It's not going to fix everything, but it might put you in a state where you're able to fix things rather than, you just kind of stagnating. So it's good. Going to the gym and developing discipline is great too. It is, but when you're in a state where you can't even get yourself to go there, because going outside is too hard. Then you need something in the house that gets you at least more active. So get a cat. Actually, getting a dog is the better one because you have to go outside with them, if I'm being honest. But some people are not they're not in a state where they could reliably do that. It depends on the person, how bad they are. But getting a dog is good because then, yeah, you take them out for walks entirely. And that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. He was in that, I don't even leave the house anymore kind of state. And friends were, I did tell them, I was like, you guys are enabling him, because they were bringing him food and taking his trash out. And I said, you should do this occasionally, but you should also let it build up occasionally and let him get hungry and try to figure out food for himself. And, because if you baby him a little too much, so check in less frequently. But they just kept bringing him food every day and taking out his trash and doing all this stuff. And I was like, for some people, they might need that. That might be the thing that gets them to be better. For some people, that might just keep them right where they are, I felt it was the latter for him. So in the end, I said, all right, we need something that only he can do, that other people aren't going to help him with. Get him a cat.